You'll finish after I get to 3. 1, 2, 3.
What do you mean I'll finish?
Oh, I meant you're going to keep counting.
Okay, go ahead.
1, 2, 3.
4, 5,
Ooh.
6, 7.
Okay, there's a bit of a delay there. We've got 1:20. Do you want to drop out and just try to come back in?
Sure. I'll do it right now.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bear with us, everybody. We're working through some technical issues. Like most electronics, a lot of this stuff is solved by turning it off and then back on again. Who knows? We got 11 people watching. Well, hello, everyone. I hope your Monday morning is going well. Now that we have access to there's a secret coffee maker. There's Dr. Marty. We'll bring him back in.
How about that?
Hello.
Hello.
It's still a bit of a delay. We'll do our best here.
Yeah, I can do it. Would have to do the earbuds, right?
No, I don't think so. It should be just your connection to the...
Bummer.
All right, stand by. We're about to go live. 102.9 W4 Country, Brett Young, it's Catch. 7:40 on your Monday morning. It's time for a Monday morning Jumpstart with Marty. Dr. Martin Fletcher joining us, would you say live via satellite?
Kind of by the router.
Yeah. So you can watch this right now on our Facebook page, facebook.com/W4 Country, and we do have a YouTube channel you can watch there as well. We've already got 13 people on, going to Carrie and Pamela. Now, Marty, you're talking about the psychology of envy today.
Yeah, I'm very interested in it because I'm seeing a lot of social media affecting people's envy. People don't usually know what it is. It's a negative emotion. Doesn't give much of a payoff. People do it anyway, so I thought we'd take a look at that.
Yeah, absolutely. You ready to jump right in?
Let's do it. Okay, number one.
Number one.
Definition. So envy is really giving us information on our social status.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening is we're perceiving other people's success or good fortune with displeasure. So it kind of causes us to be very self-conscious. We know those self-conscious emotions aren't very fun. So it also affects the relationship with the person that's being envied.
Sure.
And also our social well-being. Because if you take a look at this political climate, for instance, and some of the posts you're looking at, you can just...
Most of the posts that we're looking at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, social media is really great for bringing that out if you have the tendency. And by the way, in our bonus, we take a look at what to do about this because then kind of is painful.
Yeah, we certainly. All right, so we're talking the definition of envy. So you got your point number one?
Yeah, that is the point.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We want to know what it is. So, oftentimes by just looking at something, that can help us. Just by
acknowledging
recognizing it. Yeah, by acknowledging it. To look at something is to change it. You know, it could actually, you could deepen it if you wanted to.
Well, that's a property of physics, Marty. I know that.
What is
that? The Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So envious of him that he came up with that. All right, what's your second point?
Let's go to number two. It's a disease state of mind. We want to take a look at that. We want to strive to rid ourselves of it. So, like other things like anger, sometimes you get a sense of power, or at least it's a false sense of power because it really drains you. But it can, and sometimes feels like we're doing something. We want to make sure that we know this is a negative emotion, and it's almost destructive all the time. Now, I've seen some people say that there is a positive aspect to it if you use it to further self-improvement or motivate yourself, but I think it's unnecessary. I think there are better ways to motivate ourselves, and the positive emotions are usually better.
Okay.
So we want to, point number two is we want to recognize that it's destructive.
It's destructive. It's a disease state of mind.
I believe it is, and other philosophers and psychologists, but it's a matter of conjecture or debate.
Okay.
Some people.
All right. Well, the psychology of envy, more from Dr. Martin Fletcher on the way. First, we'll take a look at your roadways, and it's sponsored by Audible. And it looks like 23 southbound hitting a slowdown right around 94, the 94 interchange, and just south of there. I'm not aware of an accident associated with that, and everything else, as far as I can tell, is moving well. You got updates anywhere, 734-623-1029. Justin Moore and the band Perry coming up, and more from Dr. Martin Fletcher on the way on 102.9 W4 Country.
Oh my gosh, this is so hard.
Switch to all the right buttons here.
Do you want me to try to get on a different... I have two different options for connection.
Okay.
Do you want me to try?
Yeah, sure.
Because this is so hard.
Yeah, we've got a few minutes now if you want to try switching it over.
Okay, I'm going to do it right now. So that means you're going to drop me, but I'm going to log back on.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Make sure that I'm not accidentally going over the air right now. Dr. Martin Fletcher is difficult here. Sandy and or Julie, can you hear me fine? I can try turning up the good doctor. I'm not as facile at this thing as Madison is. And unfortunately, she's on furlough this week. We're all taking our turns. I have one more week coming up. You can hear me. Okay. We got to work on Dr. Martin Fletcher. Okay. Well, he's signing out and then coming back in. Thank you very much, Sarah, Julie, and Sandy. I appreciate it. Let's add Marty back in and see if this is any better.
Cross my fingers. No, there it is again.
Dr. Marty talks, it's double. Why would that be happening? Well, that's a mystery that I didn't account for.
Well, let me see if I can. Maybe if I take one off. No, it doesn't pop it off. That's okay. I mean,
are you hearing an echo, Marty?
Yeah, I'm getting a delay. It's like a probably it's almost like a second.
Let me try. I don't know what I want to try. Let me try this. Did that change anything? Did that make it go away?
Let's see. No. Remember we did it last week too. You found a way to fix it. I mean, that's okay. We suffer through. Everything else will be easy today.
Yeah, there had to be some sort of obstacle, of course. I don't know why Marty would be echoing. That's very strange.
I can't remember. I mean, I wasn't. I'm not a good engineer, but I remember the counting thing that we did last week.
Yeah.
And then we discovered it, and then you fixed it somehow. But you were the guy that fixed it.
I was the guy that fixed it, huh?
Yeah.
Boy, I wish I remembered what I did. I should have left myself a note.
That's okay. I mean, we can get through it.
Hang on. I've got another idea here. What if I do that? How about now, Marty?
Check. Oh, you fixed it.
All right.
So what did you do?
It was I don't know. There's a disable audio processing thing, but it's supposed to work fine if we both have, quality microphones and headphones on, which we have headphones on. It shouldn't be echoing, but if it's gonna, we'll just cut it out.
No, this is awesome. I have this deep feeling of gratitude.
Well, you flatter me. All right.
Like I owe you my life. 3 wishes.
Yeah, you're envious of my ability to fly here.
No, I didn't feel any envy. I just
that's
gratitude.
It's healthy.
Gratitude.
And to your first point, Marty, and for everybody watching here, I've experienced it myself before that we see someone else's success as simultaneously meaning my failure.
Right. That's so good. That's a social comparison.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's what Schadenfreude is, right? The shadow joy. That's related.
Oh yeah, I've tried to describe and explain and spell Schadenfreude to Madison and Bubba on a few different occasions.
Oh, you've observed it in the yeah, me too.
Bubba still calls it Snickerdoodle, but we're getting close.
Calls it what?
Snickerdoodle.
Snickerdoodle?
He's getting there.
It's shadow joy is what it means, and it means this: when someone's misfortune, we feel joy. Right. So somebody screws up, someone loses a contest or loses a.
Yeah, it's true in some situations that there's net zero when it comes to winners and losers. Like a game has to have a winner and have a loser.
Right. Yeah. There's no, it's not, life isn't a zero sum game, and our relationships aren't zero sum either. And I think that like social media is so great to watch this thing play out. Matter of fact, I took Facebook off my phone and I feel so much better now.
Yeah.
Not checking that. And it's the behavior of people that I care about, like really nice people that are just in this jungle and being stressful environment, and it's bringing the worst out in people.
I've promised myself a couple times now that I was going to stop posting on Facebook because I always got riled up with it. And this time I've been successful in staying away from posting anything that's going to spark debate.
But your posts were really good and informative, but I'm just telling you, people are just ready to pounce right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're looking for any reason to go after somebody.
Yeah, especially in the political climate, because they've really played up on this. Basically, it's marketing and advertising is what politics is right now. I mean, there doesn't seem to be much substance, and people aren't really concerned with policies. But what they do is they've got these great, skilled people who know how to bring this behavior out, and envy and the wish, Schadenfreude. They're encouraging it.
And we've learned that it's all about, it's about sound bites. Right?
It's about, the simplest way to get to an emotion, because emotions are very compelling, and then you can help to shape behavior with that. And if you can make people start hating each other or wishing for the worst in others, I mean, people, your side takes a shot and gets hit, and, someone's finding joy in that.
Hold that thought, Marty. We're about to go back live. Good times, great music, 102.9 W4 Country. Justin Moore, Why We Drink at 7:50 on your Monday morning breakfast without Bubba. He is off on vacation. Madison on furlough. I'm Brian Welch, and I'm joined by Dr. Martin Fletcher.
Good morning.
You can watch this live via our Facebook page, or we have a new YouTube channel that we're getting off the ground. Chime in here. We're talking about, look at this. Dr. Marty, you've gotten a compliment here. Dr. Marty is good looking.
Oh, shucks, ma'am. Thank you. I'm an old boy, too.
I need Welch needs a haircut, but we're talking about the psychology of envy. And your first point here was that envy is a negative emotion that's triggered by someone else's success, right?
Well, envy. The first point I want to make, I kind of bled them in together, but it's a social comparison. It has to do with our relationships with other people and our attitudes in those relationships. The second one is that I believe it's a destructive and harmful state of mind. I don't think anything good, like
state.
Well, yeah, because like most sins give you some pleasure. This one has no pleasure in it at all. It's bad from the beginning, middle, and the end.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything positive for you.
No.
All right, so let's move on to the third point.
Okay, third point. So we were talking politically a little bit, and I think that what the marketing people, which are basically what the political campaigns are marketing, advertising, is they get us to confuse envy with indignation. Okay, so to be indignant is to rightfully go against evil, right? So what happens is each side tries to vilify the other side, Democrat, Republican, whatever, and then that allows us to do some things that we wouldn't think of doing, which is be really cruel and wish bad on another human being. So politically, envy gets confused with indignation. Okay, and it may not seem obvious right now, but like the Greek philosophers, Aristotle looked at this to draw that distinction because they feel the same, right?
So yeah, you're convinced that you're doing the right thing by being angry at somebody else.
Yeah, we have the tendency to like one another if we get around each other. So in order to hurt somebody else, you have to turn them into less than human. You have to dehumanize them, and then that's why we can pass off some of that hatred. And because that's kind of what hatred is. It's you're hating the thing that you should love. So if someone has good fortune, we could just as easily feel good for them, like some good is brought into the world, and maybe they worked hard and deserved it. Maybe we could just be inspired and motivated in a positive way. Instead, what'll happen is if it's a horrible human being, and let's face it, we've not met any of these people. We've met no celebrities probably, and we don't know the politicians or whatever. We know this gossip that we heard about them, and that gossip is like really awful.
Right.
So,
all right. So that was, we'll save the next point for right after the band Perry. And once again, you can watch us on Facebook Live. I fixed the audio issues that we were dealing with.
Yeah, you did.
Mostly by guessing. More with Dr. Marty coming up after the band Perry. It's Better Dig 2 on 102.9 W4 Country. All right. You got a busy schedule today, Marty, or can I hold you over?
Hold me over.
Okay. I had a feeling. I just always like to ask, just in case.
Yeah, I'm going on vacation the next week too. So
okay. Well, Cindy thinks we're both good looking. Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate it.
Wow, so people so nice today.
Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Marty or for myself?
I promise a response. I can't promise an answer, but we will respond.
We'll acknowledge it. Who knows if we'll have a good answer for you. Ooh, someone made an angry face. Who put the angry face?
Oh no. Maybe it's maybe just even saying politics or something can get people
could be
angry.
Yep. Yeah, and like we've said, and I've acknowledged this in some of my personal Facebook posts as well. It's both sides, which I think even that statement can upset people because everybody thinks, so many people think their side is right and the other side is wrong.
Right. No, they're simply indignant. The other side is, hateful as well. I mean, it's a brilliant sleight of hand that these advertising people have done.
Mm-hmm.
It really does look like WWE, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, you need heroes and heels.
Yes.
That's how you know who you're supposed to be rooting for, who you're supposed to be rooting against. If they just had a collection of big personalities, we wouldn't really know what to do.
Yeah, but no matter who's in an office, I mean, you would think that having good things happen, but that's not the case. I'm fascinated by it. I mean, I'm not judging it at all. I've gotten caught up into this stuff myself,
and
had no idea what was happening.
Sarah said, "Did y'all have a good 4th? I hope."
I did, man. It was.
What'd you do?
The lawn. I mowed my neighbor's lawn, where the dock, because we go out on the water there, and I mowed my lawn. It was a great day.
You mowed a lot of lawn.
I catch up on YouTube. I listened to T.S. Eliot's 4 quartets while I was mowing the lawn. That's something I would have done if I wasn't doing that. Didn't that sound exciting?
Yeah, I was on Westlake in Portage. That's where my parents live. They moved there just back in November, and man, folks were shooting off fireworks for, the better part of 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, we did that too. We got some really good fireworks. I'm surprised.
Stand by just a second. We'll have to go back on the air. .9 W4 Country, the band Perry. It's Better Dig 2. It's Breakfast Without Bubba. I'm Brian Welch. We've got Dr. Martin Fletcher. It's the Monday Morning Jumpstart with Marty, talking about the psychology of envy. You talked about, Dr. Marty, the nature of envy, how it's a social comparison. And as far as sin goes, there's no fun part to it. It's a diseased state of mind. And we've been sort of duped into believing that the envy that we're feeling is indignation, and therefore we're in the right for feeling it.
Yes. Okay. And so number 4, and this is really a powerful statement, but I think it's true. It leads to resentments. So, and feelings of inferiority. So the social comparison usually, not usually, it always goes in the way of someone above. And then there's this resentment, which, do you know what resentment is?
Define it, Marty.
Well, you're re-feeling a negative emotion. Like sentiment is a feeling, and to means to repeat, to go over again. So what you're doing is you have this like horrible feelings that's really stressful in our bodies. And these are stressful in our bodies. All emotions are physiologic events that involve neurotransmission and hormones. Well, these are the stress hormones that come out. So you're in a ostensibly safe environment feeling this just rage and hatred. It also interferes with self-improvement because there's a feeling of helplessness and hopelessness about it.
I never put together the etymology of the word resentment and sentiment.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Holding on to the bad feelings that you had previously.
Right, and then just chewing over them over and over again. And this is how people become bitter. Like, I'm sure you've known some bitter people in your lives, or you see them on TV, their characters on movies.
Yeah, I've gotten into watching some reality TV, and boy, do they hold grudges.
Hello. And you know what though? And this is where social media really does this stuff, because it's like, look, everybody's gonna try probably to show their best moments, because imagine what it would be like if they didn't. Like, this is just like complain book or something, or let me tell you what's wrong with,
it basically is, but yeah.
No, but they're complaining about you.
Right.
No, they're not complaining about themselves.
All right, so we've got a point and a bonus left to go, right? Okay,
yes.
We're going to go check traffic right now, and going to hold Marty over because, well, I'm lonely this morning. Traffic is sponsored by Audible, and your roadways still looking really quiet. I don't know if folks were taking the 6th off as well for the holiday weekend. I'm not seeing any major backups or accidents. You got updates anywhere, though, help me out. 734-623-1029. More with Dr. Marty coming up, 102.9 W4 Country. Okay. Let's see. Sue says, love listening to the morning show. Dr. Marty brings me peace.
Oh, so nice.
That's good. That's a good thing to have, especially on a Monday morning. Cindy said you have to have a positive attitude regardless of the situation. Easier said than done sometimes, but yes.
Let me say something about that though, because here's the fact of the matter. The more accurate we are, I mean, there are exceptions, but as a rule, the more accurate we are, the better we feel. So the positive attitudes tend to be more accurate.
Yeah.
So for example, Fletch is about to go off there. For instance, something that's disappointing, that's a kind of a gentle emotion, right? Like, oh shucks, my team lost. To get enraged means that we have to distort reality. Like, this is awful, I can't stand this, why, which is basically saying I can't accept this reality, it's too much for me.
Right.
So the positive attitudes, put it this way, the more accurate we are in describing, interpreting, and evaluating, the more positive we become. So you're not lying to yourself to be positive. So I think Cindy's right about that.
I talked with a friend of mine. This was a few days ago. It was right before the holiday weekend. I think it was Thursday. Who is going through a much more difficult time personally with some health issues and professionally being out of work, and was very positive and, said, you got to stay positive. So I'm doing good.
Wow. Good.
And I believed it. It didn't seem like, well, you're going to stay positive. It was
right.
He sounded like he believed himself.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, that was a good reminder to me.
Yeah, that resiliency. I know some people like that. They live a long time, tend to.
Yeah.
The stress is down. Those are forgiving people, though. And those are people who don't judge. Kind of the basic, spiritual practices, that are hard to do, but when you get good at them, there's a big payoff.
But I want to pay off now, Marty.
I know.
Not fast enough.
Yeah, the work stress, man, that can really, because so much depends, and there's so much uncertainty and a feeling of like being unsafe when that happens. So good for that guy or girl, whichever.
Yeah. I mean, and there's that's always, I think, often just kind of a lingering thought in people's minds. What if I lose?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it helps to hit rock bottom once in your life and come out of it, because then you've survived it once.
My job's
that first time. Sorry, I talked over you because there was a delay.
More of a mental massage this morning at 8:02, almost 8:03 on your Monday morning. Breakfast without Bubba. I'm Brian Welch. We're in the middle of the Monday Morning Jumpstart with Dr. Martin Fletcher, the psychology of envy. More on that on the way. Today, bright and sunny, highs in the mid-90s. We could see some pop-up storms this afternoon. You're listening to WWWFM Ann Arbor. Hold your applause. I make it look so easy, I know.
You could work in a restaurant, even in the kitchen.
I definitely could do that. No, I worked as a waiter a couple of summers, and that's not my shtick. I'm much more comfortable when there's a microphone and then your radio receiver between us. So where were we on that? I think we're
going into number 5 and then the bonus.
Oh, right. Oh, I meant off the air here, just on the stream. I think we were in the middle of something maybe, but it's hard to say. It's a Monday morning. I'm on my second cup of coffee.
Oh yeah, job stress, work stress, bottoming out once in your life, surviving that,
getting worse, and a lot of folks, you know, hitting that for maybe the first time ever with all of this going on.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I realized that the coffee mug I grabbed is one of our other.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I didn't know what you're showing me there for a second.
Accidentally cross-branding here. That's one of our other stations down the hall, and their morning host, a very nice man. He's just competing with me right now. So
it looked like the Ipsy thing.
Oh, maybe.
Architecture structures is what when you held it up.
Oh, that one tower with the inappropriate nickname, right?
Ipsy Tower? That's what we call it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's actually you share a name with our morning host on that station. This is it's a microphone with his trademark fedora on top. Mm. But they get no free plugs here. Trying to keep our listenership.
You're plugging him right now.
Yeah, I didn't mention his name or his frequency.
No. But now they're going to research this and find out.
Yeah, we're going to lose everybody. They're going to go, I don't know what to talk about. Who could it be? I remember having some lots of feelings of envy when I was, playing drums and then watching other drummers and thinking, boy, I wish like I was that good or I could do that.
You know what it is with skill though? If you had to teach somebody this, you would realize how much you know. It's so familiar to you right now that you don't realize and you don't remember how difficult it was to do that stuff. But if you had to teach it to somebody and break it down, you realize, oh, it's pretty complicated.
Yeah, it's maybe it's harder than I'm giving myself credit for.
Yeah, because you know your stuff.
I've generally kind of turned a corner on that, and it was sort of a conscious decision at one point to think, their success. I mean, in the situations where I am, either I'm seeing a band playing, or we're volunteering at our church, and their success does not necessarily mean my failure.
Oh yeah.
We're not competing for the exact same job. Either we're both volunteering or I paid to watch someone playing a show.
Yeah, what really works good and feels good and we don't have enough of it is humility. Like when you see somebody like that and then you take joy in that, that's a form of humility. It says nothing about me. It's not about me. It's about that person. There's something really cool there and I get to enjoy it. I don't have to have it.
I will feel envy sometimes, but I make a conscious effort to be excited for other people when I see other good drummers.
Yeah. There's always somebody studied something that we haven't. And they're gonna know something.
You're never going to be number one in the world, probably. No.
And even that guy isn't number one every day, probably. Right. I mean, and also, how would you even rate it? I mean, music's music. Some of the coolest stuff is simple.
Mm-hmm.
One thing you do as a musician later, you've probably done this too, is you don't feel like you used to when you started, do you?
Yeah, no, you're right. I definitely try to keep things simpler.
Right, or like ZZ Top, like that guy Billy Gibbons, the guitar player. He can do whatever he wants, but he doesn't. He just finds these. It's sculpting, not painting. I think when you get experience in music, before you just kind of throwing paint on like Jackson Pollock, and then later on you realize how to create something bigger than you outside of it, and your contribution is going to shrink as the other ones kind of grow.
We'll be back on the air in just under 2 minutes. Anybody have any questions for either of us? I got to go. I went kayaking for the first time. I think.
Where did you go? Huron?
The weekend. No. So I was visiting my parents. They're just over in Portage, and they live right on West Lake. And they have not yet committed to any boat purchases, but literally everybody else on the lake has something, and many have offered, if you ever want to use our boat, we can use it. And so the next door neighbors do kayaks, and I decided I was going to try my hand at kayaking.
We do that a lot because I got some for Father's Day, and so we live by lake.
I'm a bad swimmer, so it was kind of nerve-wracking for me, but overall I had fun.
Yeah, life preserver, right? Because you get a ticket.
I did.
Yeah, have one of those though, just so you don't get ticketed. Plus, it may save your life.
Yeah, I should have. And then when one wasn't immediately offered up, I was like, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm probably worried about.
Got to go sometime, right? I've done everything I've wanted to do in life, so let's go kayaking.
Forget born on the 4th of July. No, I made it out unscathed. There were some moments that got my heart rate up a little bit, but
like what, on a lake?
Because I would hit little wakes, and like that was enough to kind of shake my tiny kayak, and I was like, oh no, this is gonna end.
Oh, it is unstable. I mean, you have to use your core muscle sometimes. Like, it'll surprise you.
All right, stand by. 102.9 W4 Country, Jason Aldean, a little more summertime. We're the station that makes you feel good. It's 10 minutes after 8 o'clock on your Monday morning breakfast without Bubba. I'm Brian Welch. We do still have Dr. Martin Fletcher on the air with us. It's the Monday Morning Jumpstart with Marty.
Yeah, good morning.
And so we talked about the psychology of envy and how it's a social comparison. It's a negative feeling. It's, in fact, a disease state, you called it.
Yeah.
A mental state. And we've been sort of we're fooled by the marketing of politics into thinking that the envy we feel is actually indignation and we're right for feeling it. And then how it elicits feelings of resentment and inferiority. And that's the sort of thing that we hold on to, and it just gets worse.
Yes, that's right.
So go ahead.
Well, I was going to make the distinction between jealousy and envy. Do you think that there's a distinction between that?
So jealousy is you want to protect what you own, what you believe you own, right?
Yeah. How do you know that? No one knows that.
Because I like words, Marty.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's good. That's a good
time that people are using the word jealousy when they mean envy.
Right. Because envy is a desire for something that doesn't belong to you.
Right.
And that doesn't have to be physical. It could be status, for instance, or prestige,
Yeah. And okay, so what's our fifth point?
Okay, so that is the fifth point.
Oh.
The distinction between jealousy and
okay.
You know a lot about words, but you're not good with numbers.
Well, I used to be.
You got a lot of balls in the air right now, so
yes, thanks for finishing that statement, Marty. We have of course it wouldn't be a Monday morning jumpstart without a bonus point.
Oh, no, gosh, no. And this is a good one because this is a way out. So we don't want to just have envy and think that it's our lot in life. We want to figure out what to do about it. Two things that will really help. Okay. And one we've talked about a lot because the literature is really growing on this and how good it is for health, sleep, all kinds of things, relationships. And that's gratitude practice. So we're going to just flip it around and we're going to look at what's right about somebody having a good life or having some success. We're going to take some joy and pleasure in that. So gratitude practice is, instead of looking for what's wrong with me, what's wrong with the country, what's wrong with him and her, we're going to look take our attention, because attention's selective, and find the good. Okay. And then the second part of that is we're going to thank the giver. Right? Like if you're seeing a great drummer and your first instinct or response is to be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to put down the drums. I'll never be like this. You want to flip that around and see what's good about that. You know what I mean? Don't be self-conscious. Like, put your energy into the other one. And then the other thing is this mindfulness practice. I mean, that's another thing that's being talked about a lot. And this sort of new to our psychology, but was around forever, especially in the religious traditions, is this just being in the present. There's no fear in the present moment usually. So like there was for a second, like the kayak starts to tip. Okay, there's fear for a second and then it's over, as long as you stay in the moment. And that moment was a moment of understandable fear. But generally, we don't have a lot of threats in our environment right now. We perceive the threats from social media, marketing, and when we're talking about the politics and all that kind of stuff, it's not just it goes for products too. To manufacture desire is to put us at risk of envy. To want what we have, that is gratitude and mindfulness. And gratitude practice.
That doesn't sell units.
It doesn't. No, it's free, which is nice. It's like oxygen. You don't have to pay for it. You're not taxed on that.
Right. Well, yet. Who knows?
Yeah. If that other guy gets in office, we will be.
It's the Monday Morning Jumpstart with Dr. Martin Fletcher. This will be available on our Facebook page in its entirety if you want to check it out. And tell us a little bit about your podcast, Marty.
Oh, the Shepherd and Shrink podcast. That's some free for you. It's about spirituality and psychology coming together. So my good friend Matt Hook, who's also a pastor, he is the shepherd and I am the shrink. And so we bring the two things together. We've got quite a few episodes. You can go to shepherdandshrink.com. You can go to any of the platforms, Apple, Spotify, Facebook. We filmed them too, so you can see what he looks like, etc. So it's Shepherd and Shrink podcast.
It's maybe something better to take in than some more network news.
Yeah, make you feel good.
I had to keep asking my parents to change it from one of the news channels to something a little more entertaining, a little lighter.
It just tanks your mood, doesn't it?
Yep.
It's like everything that's wrong, I'm going to put it out right now. We're going to select with our production staff everything that could possibly go wrong, everything that is wrong, and we're going to show it to you.
And we're not even in sweeps week.
And you can't do anything about it. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Martin.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Have a great rest of the day.
You too.
Continue on here and take a look at your roadways. Traffic is sponsored by Audible. And it's still pretty quiet. It does look like Michigan Avenue, both directions just east of Clinton, seeing some slowdowns. I'm not aware of an accident there. But if you are, you know something else anywhere. 734-623-1029, Old Dominion and Carrie Underwood. And trending on the way on 102.9 W4 Country.